Hello coders, good morning. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was working late last night and I overslept this morning. So I'm about half an hour late. No, 26 minutes late. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Tyrannid. Pretty much. I'm up. I'm awake. Good. So today, well, the reason why I was working late last night is because I was trying to update the website on our staging server, and I kept running out of space. So I was looking into why I was running out of space, and it turns out there was a couple of things that I needed to set on the AWS servers. Plus, my Docker images are ginormous. So I want to see today if there's any kind of way I can reduce those sizes of the Docker images. We probably won't be able to fit it all in today because, like, we're now half an hour away from the stream. You could still see the pillow lines in my face. I have had a shower and I've made myself a cup of tea, so I haven't literally just rolled out of bed. That'll be disgusting. Okay, let's get into the code. So yesterday I was doing, or last night I should say, I was doing some changes to the Docker file for the API, trying to get this nice and small. And I created some multi-stage stages. Let's just bring that out so it's. There we go. So for example, we're now running Composer as a separate Docker image. And I'm copying over composer.json and composer lot file, and then I'm running Composer, no dev, optimize autoloader with no scripts. That creates the Composer image, and then we're doing a similar thing for Yarn, which is the front end for the content management system. So again, adding all the various bits and pieces for Yarn, and then creating our own little node image, I guess you would call it. So these are two separate images, Node and Composer there. And then under here we are dealing with the back end. So this is the PHP Apache Buster jobby. And what else did I change? Oh yes, I put in the removal of apt list and the log of Apache. Also, I did an apt get clean just to clean out all the apt cache stuff, and then underneath we then copy the various bits and pieces from the images that we've created before into this main image. But it's still quite large. There is still a lot more we can do to this. So let me just first of all, I need to do a docker ps-a. Yeah, then if I did a Docker images, we should see quite large images. If I did a Docker system, system prune. So today's going to be a little bit sort of like research and development type stuff. It's going to be a bit trial and error, a little bit sort of backwards and forwards. This is the stuff. This is 834 megs. All right, this is the thing to beat. 834. Like I said, it's huge. And the reason why we've got two, let me just, yeah, that's good. The reason why we've got two here is because we've got the API and the content management system being in a different container each. Then we've got some ginormous stuff going on here. I mean, you can see all the times I've attempted to build this and it's failed. We've got like 1.79 gigs just on the front end, so that's ridiculous. And also we've got other various bits and pieces, like for instance we've got the MySQL and Node. These are the base images. How are we doing with that? Okay, that's reclaimed 4.375 gigs. This is all the stuff that isn't in current use. So if we did docker ps -a, we should have a smaller subset everything's running. And if we did Docker images, we should see a smaller amount of images. Okay, cool. Right. So 834 is the thing to beat. 834 is the thing to beat. So just reviewing this Docker file. What are the things off the top of my head that we can do to make this smaller? Well, one of the first things is to take a look at this. This is the image of PHP, Apache, and Buster, right? So first of all, this could be Apache. There's two issues. Sorry, there's two issues. First of all, it's using Apache, right? Which on its own isn't a bad thing. It's just knowing the rest of the infrastructure. Here we've got the gateway, which is Nginx. So that's 144 meg just for Nginx, and yeah, I'll probably have to go in and tinker with that and sort of make it smaller, because I don't think 144 for Nginx is quite large. So that's using Nginx, right? That's the gateway. That's the thing that goes in front of all the other components. And if you remember way back when we were dealing with microservices, all the microservices were behind the gateway. So that's still in place. But the point is, this is Nginx, this is Apache. Nginx, Apache. Nginx, Apache. There is no need to have two different types of web servers. Because, well, there isn't. And this is a legacy thing, right? This is because of the microservices that we were using before. So we may as well either use Apache for the gateway, or we may as well use Nginx for the web server, for the API plus the CMS. Because that makes sense, because then we could share the base image of the gateway and thus reduce the size of this. The trouble with that, though, is that brings in a level of complexity, because now we're saying, well, actually, this here is no longer going to be Apache, it's going to be Nginx. So how do we deal with that? So to do that, we would need to have two separate containers, one for PHP and one for Nginx, and then we would connect those together, and we would use PHP FPM as a means of creating just a PHP container. Which will certainly reduce the size by a long shot, because we're now using Alpine images, which are tiny, but it increases the complexity because, well, for a start, we have to configure Nginx and not Apache, so that means the whole vhost stuff that I was doing before is out the window, but also the fact that I have to now configure PHP to connect through a port like 9000 to Nginx. That's a bit complicated. Tyranid saying that feels like an oof. Yeah. So yeah, that's what we could do with this. Definitely. The next thing looking through here is that if this was Nginx, we wouldn't have any of this, these environment variables and stuff here. But that there is something else that we could play with. Xdebug, for instance, we could disable that extension if we had a mechanism, a switch to say whether or not this is in dev mode or if this is in production mode. Right. So if it's in production mode, we certainly won't be having Xdebug installed. So there would need to be some form of switch that would go, which would say, if is production, don't include Xdebug, that kind of stuff. Another thing we could do with this, let's think. Another thing is to bump this up to 7.4. I'm not sure if there's any space changes between 7.3 and 7.4. However, I did try and do that last night just out of a whim, and it did fail. I tried to do 7.4 Buster, Apache Buster, and it fell flat on its face. So that's something that I definitely want to do in the future, but it's not like a necessity now. And then, this is just the standard stuff, copying the various bits and pieces from the other multi-stages in. There's not a lot we can do here really. I don't think. So, yeah. Let me see. Right. So today what I'm going to do is just play around and see if I can get this running in PHP FPM, I think. I think that's probably a good start. And like I said, this is going to be a very trial and error. What I need to do, this actually is an image that I created 2 weeks ago. So it doesn't actually conform to this at the moment. So we'll just do a Docker build at the minute. Docker compose up -d, just to see how small that actually is. So I'm going to put this into some notes. This is the from. And whilst that goes off, I'm going to do a little bit of reading to see what I need to do in order to do this, because it is, like, I haven't had my first cup of tea yet, and this is quite heavy stuff. So 834 meg is to beat. This is the API stroke CMS. Okay, I think I got it down to like 740 last night. So whilst that goes off, let's see if I can get to some documentation here. So I want to do Docker PHP, and the thing I want to play with is right. So there should be somewhere down here. Yeah, here we go. So this is what we're running at the moment. PHP :version and then Apache, right? And then mine would be Apache Buster. But what we want to do is do an FPM job. So PHP version Alpine. We could use FPM. Yeah. So this image is based on a popular Alpine Linux project available in the Alpine official image. Alpine Linux images are much smaller. Most distribution-based images are less than are approximately 5 meg, which is amazing, and thus leads to a much smaller image in general. The variant is highly recommended when final images are being when final image size being as small as possible is desired. Yes. The main caveat to note is that it uses musl libc instead of glibc and friends, so certain software might run into issues depending on the depth of the libc requirements. However, most software doesn't have an issue with this, so this variant is usually very safe choice. See Hacker News comment thread, okay, for more discussion of the issues. To minimize the image size, it's uncommon for additional related tools such as Git or Bash to be included in the Alpine base images, so this is really bare bones. Using this image as a base, add the things you need in your own Docker file. Okay, so you would use this as a base image. That's essentially what this is about. So I think it's ran through Composer there. That's created the Composer image and stuff. So I think what I really need to do, I think, is to create like another folder in here specifically for PHP. Because if we're moving away from Apache, I mean, that would just make sense. And then have a Docker and create our own Docker file for that in there. And then hack up the Docker Compose to be API_PHP and CMS_PHP. One thing I want to check though, excuse me, is how would I use the Alpine image over the FPM image? The FPM image I kind of understand because you pass it through a port, but what I need to do really is find an example of this. And also find the difference in size between that one and this one. Let me see. How are we getting on with that? We're building the front end, the node stuff. Okay. Right, let me do some Googling. Docker PHP Alpine and Engine. I can't spell. Nginx. I just want to see an example, really. Alpine Nginx PHP 7. Because what I'm looking for is 2 separate Docker images. But I don't think this is going to be the one. From Alpine 3.11. Configure Nginx. So this is creating Nginx from that. Okay, fine. Make there. User nobody. Health checks. Here we go. PHP upcache FPM. Alright, so that's a small little distribution of just... Yeah, that's not really what I'm after, but I see what's going on there. The thing is, I want to move away from having Nginx or Apache in the same container as PHP. The reason being is that because I have the gateway image here, I could use that as the base. Combining PHP 7 to Alpine with Nginx and a Docker file. Again, this is not strictly what I'm after. So from PHP 7 to upgrade, all of this stuff. Yeah, you can see it's a little bit more involved than just running straight PHP Apache Buster. I might just use the FPM package, FPM and Nginx, and if we looked at the Docker Compose of this, how to set up Laravel, Nginx, and MySQL with DigitalOcean. It's always a good. I'm always impressed with DigitalOcean's documentation. So okay, this is setting up a Laravel application. This looks like the thing. So you got a PHP service, you got the Nginx service. This is pretty much MySQL service. Yes, and the Docker networks. So here we would have our build Docker file image digitalocean.com PHP. I mean, this would all change. I just want to see how they've done it. Okay, do we have any examples of these things here? Creating the Docker file. Here we go. PHP 7.2 FPM. Deal with the composer lock. Okay, so copy that across. Do the work directory as www. Call. Run all of these. Build essentials. Lib pongs. Okay, good. We're also including Vim. Okay. Clear the cache. Run the installation. Run the extensions. That's cool. So we'll have to do something similar in a block. Install Composer. Okay, so we're doing it slightly differently. Add the user for the Laravel application. Okay. Copy existing application directory contents. Copy existing directory file permissions. Change the user to wub and then run PHP FPM. All right. Do we have a similar side for Nginx? Excellent. So this is the Nginx configuration. That's going to be handy. Configure MySQL. Do we not have the Nginx Docker container, Docker file? Unless that comes straight from Nginx Alpine. There we are, Nginx Alpine. I'm going to quickly just double check what I'm doing on the gateway. because I've said that quite a lot. I'm going to use the gateway, but I just want to double check what the image is for that. New window. Okay, Docker file here. Nginx latest. So that's not even using Alpine. Okay, there's various things that we can do. All right. So there's a lot of things that we can do to tidy all of this up, all these images. Right, where are we at with this? Okay, we're doing the step 11. We're running yarn install and yarn build. I've got a bit of warnings here, some deprecation notices, but I think it should be okay. I was getting these last night, I was having to work through them. So like normally I would go, well, this doesn't need to, I don't need to do this until after until after it goes live. Wow, that hurt my ears. So, but the thing is, I can't deploy because these images are so big. So it's a sort of a catch-22. Hopefully my tea's drinkable now. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, now this is getting PHP 7.3 Buster. Right, so I guess what I could do is pull these things down, right? Let's do that. Pull the base images down. I'm kind of wasting time here, aren't I? So let's bring this up. Let's go into API. Let's do Docker, Docker pull. And we want to do engine X. Do we? Yeah. Nginx Alpine. We want to pull that. And we also want to pull. Not in there. I need to evaluate the shell. Oh dear. There we go. Yeah, Nginx Alpine, and then this one we're going to pull PHP. We'll do 7.3 FPM. Docker. That's already done. Cool. We'll just do it in this one. Docker pull PHP. Where are we at? 7.3. Sorry. /7.3. Beg your pardon. FPM. I always get FMP and PM muddled. I want to compare sizes, you see. Like, because there's no point in doing this if it's only like a couple of meg. So on the left-hand side, what we've got is running that the Docker Compose build, the Compose thing, and we want to try and beat 834 megs. On this side, we're pulling down PHP FPM 7.3 in prep for the changeover, and we've already pulled Nginx. Okay, so this is all done. So now let's just move that over to one side. It'll just work itself out. So on this one, let's do Docker images. All right, let's have a little look. Okay, so that was the Composer image, 175 meg. That's all right. Then here we've got, so we've got PHP 7.3 Apache Buster is 410 meg. 7.3 FPM is 398 meg. There isn't really much in it, is there? Not really. Not a huge amount. There's like, what, 20 meg? Something like that? Ish? Even that? Not even that. The interesting one though is this one here, Nginx, the gateway. So not the gateway, sorry, the Alpine image of Nginx. This is 21.3 meg, whereas the gateway is 144 meg. So there's obviously something I can do there to make that to use for the gateway to use the Alpine. Maybe that's where I should start. All right, what's it doing now? Is it copying over the various bits and pieces? Yeah. Okay. Now it's coming, saying it's updating all those things, and item has just disappeared. There we go. All right. Come on. All right, it's done, and I've got my shell back. Sweet. All right, let's just get rid of that for a minute. From here, let's do Docker images and just see where we're at. 753. 753, and we started on. Where's my notes? We started on 834. So yes, that change I did last night has reduced it by a fair amount. Not a huge amount, but a fair amount, which is good. I think what I'm going to do is just change my focus from Apache and from API and CMS to the gateway, because this thing here, 144 meg, if I can get it down closer to 21, that would be a huge leap forward. If I can still get the websites running and up to date, that would be an amazing thing if I can still do that. So I'm happy that that's being reduced. What are we now? That's like, what, 34? Yeah, that's huge. That's a huge amount. Let's just get the actual amount. So 834. You'll have to forgive my maths. It's not. It's too early in the morning, and I haven't had enough tea for this. But yeah, we got it down to 80 by 81 megabytes. 81 megs. Right. So let's take a look at this. So I'm going to come away from this here, and we're going to go straight to the gateway, new window. And I suppose, the first thing I should do, right, is just make sure everything's running. That would would be a good thing. So from here, I'm going to do make tests, right? So that will do all the various testing that we've always seen. But whilst that's going off on that, let's take a look at this. I wonder if the only change I need to do here is to change that from latest to Alpine, and also do a apt get clean here. Let me just get an idea on this. Yeah, that's fine. I'm more concerned about the APIs. As soon as I see a single green tick, I'm good. Oh, what's this? DB rebuild unknown directory. Bear with me a minute whilst I solve this problem. I did change this last night, so I'm wondering if I haven't pulled across all the code. Give me a second whilst I have a look at this, because this needs to be the thing. I have changed the bin folders, and I don't think I pushed these through. No, I didn't. Yeah, 2 seconds. It's because this directory is hidden, is ignored, and what I did is I renamed the DB rebuild script. Give me a second whilst I just screw around in the other machine. That should be better now. Just wait for that to push up. Excellent. And then let's pull this down. So what I did, I think I mentioned it a while back. I wanted to rename the files on the for the bash scripts for rebuilding the database. And they used to be rebuild-db, so I've called them now db-rebuild. And I also built this migrate script, which is sort of a shorter version, but this doesn't actually drop the database and create the database. This does. So hopefully, if I was to run this, it would be better. Right. Let's get back onto this thing, otherwise this is going to distract me. So gateway. So let's jump onto the gateway. Okay, let's take a look at the Docker file for this. Give me a second. I'm going to do small changes first. So apt-get clean. Yeah, that. I don't even know what. I mean, I don't actually see the point in that, to be honest. What's the best way of testing this? I guess just sort of accessing the website would be a good start, right? So if we went to, and I could access the front end because I don't really want to interfere with the CMS whilst it's doing all of those tests. So let's see, how would I do that? I guess I would just run the APIs seem to be working fine, which is great. We'll just let that run. You know, we'll just let that run. But what I would like to do. Oh, hang on, where? Code system, that's what I'm looking for, system. Is this a good thing? Is this the right thing to do? I'm going to have to kill this eye. Yeah, I'm going to have to kill that. So let's just see if I can get to the CMS. Yeah, I can. Okay, cool. So that's kind of my test. If that loads up, then we're good. All right, so there's no need for this. Right, let's change this to be Alpine rather than latest, right? So let's do, we had an example of that, didn't we, in the Docker. Where are we? Sort of up here. Docker image, web server Alpine image. Yeah. Right. And I don't think we need that. I'm not sure why I'm echoing that out. You can tell this is legacy stuff. Alright, let's leave that. And then let's do a Docker compose up build on the gateway. Network is declared external, but could not. Do I need to evaluate my shell? All right, there we go. So because I did the poll of the Nginx gateway, it already existed. My question now is, can I get this down from, I think it was 144 Docker images. So that's what it used to be, 144, and we've changed it to be 21. Right, so the question is, does this still work? That's the test. Does this page still work? My magic mouse has got dust in it, I think. Let's refresh. Does this still work? Yes, it does. Oh, wow. So I've really carved a hole into that. No way. No way. We've reduced that from 144 down to 21. Wow. Let's get rid of it. Docker RMI -F. We'll get rid of this one. Brilliant. Okay. That's brilliant. I'm going to check the front end just to be doubly sure that that's okay. Wow. Wow, chuffed with that. So, how would I do that? The front end. Let's get this in another, there we go, CD into portal, and then if I did, I'm going to have to do nvm use stable, I think. Yep, and then do npm run dev. Actually, well, yes, no, that's fine, I think. Or do I need to evaluate the shell? Yeah, I do. Otherwise, it's not going to know the network. There we go. nppn run? No, that's not right. npm run dev. There we go. Right, we'll wait until this runs through. It shouldn't, as soon as I see success on these things, it should be good. But I just want to make sure that, because we've literally reduced the image by, 120 megs? I just want to make sure it's all working. But that's huge. Like, in the grand scheme of things, that's quite large. Because you've got the Apache of both the content management system and the API, so they could all share that. So when I do tackle the FPM stuff, I've only got like 25 minutes to go on this stream, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do all of it, but that was a huge leap forward. At any rate. Saved is 81 meg, and then we had the gateway. I'm just writing some notes down. Gateway, which was 144 down to 21.5. Okay, 122.5 saved, and then that would be across the board, wouldn't it? So that would be 81. So 81 plus 122.5. Yeah, so we've saved 284 megs. 284, because the content management system, 284.5, because the content management system and the API are separate containers but running off the same thing. Nice. Right. Let's see if this still runs, which it should do. I've got no doubt that it shouldn't. Yeah. Brilliant. Awesome. So that's really good. So a quarter of a gig has been saved. So okay, right. Let's come out of that now. Right. What can I quickly do now within the next sort of 20 minutes to make this even smaller? There's not really anything we can do with the gateway. There's certainly things we can do with the API and CMS. I want to see what the difference is between 7.3 FPM and just 7.3 Alpine. I want to see what the difference is between those. Actually, there is a big difference here. Can you see? 175 meg for FPM. Whoops, sorry. Yeah, there is a big difference. 398, get my words out. No, hang on, I'm looking at the wrong thing. My eyes this morning. That's Composer, sorry. Composer, I'm... yeah, there still isn't much in it. Alright, let's pull down the Alpine. Docker pull. PHP 7.3 hyphen Alpine. Alright, obviously the smaller the image, the more that there is to configure and add. So the more complicated it's going to be, but you know, I want to just see how low I can actually get it. Okay, Docker images. 74. Wow, that's tiny, isn't it? 74 megs. Jeez, this is like on the par with the gateway now. Okay, wow. I'm very tempted to go down the Alpine route. I'm very, very tempted. Just out of interest, is there any difference with PHP 7.4? Like, with the size of that? Let's do Docker poll 7.4 of Alpine plus do PHP 7.4 FPM. Oh, do I have to do this at separate polls? Oh, probably. And then 7.4, 7.3 FPM. It shouldn't be massive. I'm just intrigued. I obviously can't move this application to 7.4 yet because there are some things I need to change, but I'm just intrigued. Come on. There we go. Right. Docker images. What have we got? All right. So we got the Alpine is 7.4. FPM of 7.3 is 398. Apache Buster, which is the original what we're running at the moment, is 410. So that's what we want to move away from. Okay. So the Alpine of 7.4 is 81 meg. So it's a little bit more. But nothing, not a huge amount, but it is a little bit more. I mean, I can't really say much, can I? Okay, and then the FPM of that is then 400. Hang on, is that right? FPM of that? Yeah, 405. 405. 398. Oh wait, hang on a minute. Now we're moving into territory which is really sort of... Yeah, because we've got 743 Apache Buster, which is 410. That's what we're using at the moment, right? That's what 410. And then to use 74 FPM is 405. I would only be saving 5 megabytes for a lot of pain going down FPM route. I'm not sure if that's worth it. I don't know. The thing is, I definitely want to use the Nginx base image. I'm gonna have to think about this one. Is it worth, for all the pain of configuring FPM, is it worth that? Unless we use the Alpine image, which is 74 meg, and because we've already got the Nginx base image down for the gateway, right? So we could almost use that as a base image. Let me see. I'm sure there was an example of this. This is PHP service, DigitalOcean, PHP. Do we have an example Docker file for this? Here we go. PHP 7.2. That's an FP. That's FPM. Right, Alpine Nginx with PHP 7. I think this is what we were looking at before, but now I'm starting to see why this is a good thing. This is straight from Alpine. I'm not sure I want to go down that route that far. This is they're all using FPM. Yeah, they're all using FPM. It's running straight from Alpine. Yeah, that's the same one we've seen before, I think, but in yeah, my gut is saying that it's going to take too long to deal with just the Alpine version of PHP, even though that is extremely attractive. I think I'm going to need to deal with FPM if I want to do this. Run it as a separate container. Yeah, which doesn't really give me a lot to yeah, it doesn't give me a lot, does it? Not really. Well. Interesting though, the 7.3 Apache is 410 megs, and yet the actual API and the CMS is 753, right? So what is the other it's basically like half of that, right? Like, what is that? Is that just all node stuff? I guess what we could use is dive. So this is pretty good. This was shown to me the other day. A tool for exploring. I haven't used this, by the way. Not yet. I would love to. A tool for exploring a Docker image layer contents and discovering ways to shrink its size. Let's see if we can quickly install this. So to analyze your Docker image, simply run dive and then your Docker image. Is there a way I can install? How do I do that? How do I? Basic features, installation, here we go. Right, I'm gonna quickly run this and see if, I can use brew install. Marvelous. Marvelous. Right, let's see if we can quickly get this running. Never used it before, and I'm not sure I've got enough time to demonstrate this. But let's get this running. If anything, I'll use it whilst I'm having my breakfast. All right, so then, we could pull it by Docker, and then running that. A Docker in Docker, isn't it? That would be cool. But I quite like the fact that it's a brewer installation. So let's have a look at one of these examples then. What are we doing? A tool for exploring a Docker image layer contents and discovering ways to shrink its size. So you would run dive and then your image tag, right? Or if you want to build your image, then jump straight into analyzing it. All right, no, not worried about that. Building on a MacBook supporting only Docker container engine. This might be a bit tricky because I'm running this in a Docker machine, maybe. How are we getting on with that? Okay, cool, it's in. Sweet. Is it on my shell? Dive. D-I-V. No, not yet. I probably have to log out. Or... yeah, dive. Gotcha. That's sweet. Okay, let's give it a go. So let's get rid of this. Right. Let's dive into system. Dive into the API. Evaluate the Docker machine. Right, so to do this then, I'm just going to play with this. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time to do this, but let's see if we can get this running at least. Let's do Docker images, and the image that I want to dive into is the API. That would be good, right? I'm wondering if we can do it off of the ID. So dive, and then the ID. Here we go. Oh, no. Fetching image, no. So this isn't good. Like, I think this is going to. I think this is trying to fetch that image from the Docker Hub. I think. Not sure. Let me see. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, no, it did it. It did it. It did it all right. Sweet. So what have we got here? We've got, wow. Okay. Huh. That's cool. I like this. So we can see the size, the command that was ran. We've got the permissions. And then this is basically like a file explorer, right? So 227 megs. 123 megs of the copy. And then, yeah, so this here is the copying of the various things, right? So these three here would, or four here would represent, if we go into the Docker file for the API, it's these things here. So we can see that the first one is 123 megs. Then it's 90, so 123 would be that one. That would be 90 for the node modules. And then that 67, that would be the composer. Okay, so this is highlighting to me the large sizes of my dependencies here. So yeah, which kind of means that, like, I need to review my code and see what I can put in my Docker ignore. $480, 4.8. What's that? That's the CMS. Okay. And wait, right. 55 megs for save apt show mark set ex. I don't know what that's about. 587 meg for that. Is there a way I can actually get in and see a little bit more? Let's have a look at the documentation. Estimate image efficiency. The lower level pane, the lower left pane, shows basic layer information and experimental metrics that will guess how much wasted space your image contains. All right. Image efficiency, where's this? The lower left pane, which is here. Both a percentage score and a total wasted space is provided. Is that right? Maybe it's just a case of my... yes, sorry. Right, I'm going to have to make this a bit smaller so I can fit it on the screen. But yes, there is down here. I don't know if I can, if I'm showing this on the stream or not. There is this image details thing at the bottom. So we've got the image size. I don't know if I can, unfortunately, show you that, but there is. You might be able to just quickly see that you've got the efficiency score and the potential wasted space, 189 meg. I don't know if you can see that on the stream, unfortunately, because I think that it's... It's this stuff. Total image size 753, potential wasted space 189 megs, efficiency score is 87. And it's also showing the full command. That's pretty nice. So if you want to inspect your... Alright. Is there any kind of indication as to what I could remove then? I noticed that that went green. This here went green. Let's switch views tab. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, I see it. So we can tab into these things. Gotcha. Then collapse the directories. Alright, okay. Gotcha. Nice. Sweet, I see. Okay, so this is my directory structure. So you can see that's highlighted to 200. Okay. Huh. Nice, I like this. So there's various things I could remove. Let's just get back to the documentation. Quick build analysis, multiple image sources, then installation instructions. You can also integrate it into a CI workflow. That's really cool. Files that have changed are indicated in the file tree. These can be adjusted to show changes for specific layers or changes to the, as you select the layer on the left, you are shown the contents of the layer combined with all the previous layers on the right. Also, you can fully explore the tree with the arrow keys. You can build a Docker image I like that. This is really clever. Really, really clever. So what was the thing that was highlighted here? 267. So these are the things that have changed at in this layer, right? So if can you see that? So it changes. I don't know if I can, if I'm showing this correct, but if I was to close that up, just to show you a little bit more. Right. So if I tabbed back to here, can you see? Yeah, can you see that the green? These are all the things that have changed between these layers. Nice. Right, so I've already identified a bunch of caching, which I could probably get rid of here. These aren't massive files, kilobytes, but still, and 244 KB for the actual XDebug itself. Does that get removed? I mean, I know these are really small, but you can really get granular with this. This is really ace. Cool. Anyway, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to shoot off because I need to crack on with my day. I'm a freelancer and I've got stuff that I need to get on with. None of this, unfortunately, but we managed to reduce our Docker images by 284.5 today, which is good. Which ain't bad. But I'll probably look through this tonight and see if there's anything else that I can strip down. But yeah, pretty happy with this. Thank you ever so much, everybody, for watching. Happy coding, everybody, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Oh, not tomorrow. What am I saying? Thursday evening. I don't know what day of the week it is. Thursday. I'll see you all Thursday evening. Take care. Happy coding. Cheers. Bye bye.